All right, secondary math 2, we are going to be building on the concept that we talked about last time in class, and that is our greatest common factors. Okay, so today we'll be factoring binomials, but we're going to get some practice in actually finding the greatest common factor. Okay, well, before we do that, let's actually define what is the greatest common factor. Okay, so let's underline that, and then over here, let's actually write down what that is. I'll zoom out so you guys can see. Okay, so the greatest common factor is the biggest or greatest number that goes into both of them, into both or all numbers given. Okay, because sometimes they give you more than 2. Okay, so the greatest common factor is the biggest number that goes into both or all numbers given. Okay, so let's look at number 1. These directions are asking us to find the greatest common factor of the 2 integers given, or the 2 numbers given. Okay, so here's what we can do. I'm going to make a list for 12 and for 15. I'm going to make a factor list for both of these guys. Okay, so for 12, let's figure out its factors. So what numbers can you multiply together to get 12? We know 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. If we were to go up to 4, we already have it on our list, so we're done. Okay, so that is my factor list of 12. Okay, well, let's do the same thing for 15. Okay, we know 1 and 15 will give me 15. 2, I can't multiply anything to get 15. What about 3? 3 and 5. 4 doesn't go into 15. 5 does. We already have it, so we're done. Okay, so we have our factor list for both 12 and 15. So now when it's asking us to find the greatest common factor, what is the biggest number that's on both of those lists? Okay, so I see that they both have a 1. Okay, but this 12 has a 2, 15 doesn't have a 2. Ooh, they both have a 3. Is there anything higher than 3 that they both have? 4, 15 doesn't have. 6, 15 doesn't have. 5, 12 doesn't have. And 12 and 15, they obviously don't share. Okay, so we know that 3 and 3 is the biggest number that they both have on their list. So our greatest common factor for 12 and 15 is 3. Okay, we could have said 1, but is that the greatest common factor? Is it the biggest number? No, we always want the greatest, the biggest one. Okay, so let's do the same thing for number 2. Let's do some factor lists for 3 and 9. Okay, so draw your factor list for 3 and for 9. Okay, so for 3, the only 2 numbers that I can multiply to get 3 are 1 and 3. Okay, that makes it easy. There's pretty much 2 options. Okay, well, let's do 9. I can do 1 times 9 will give me 9. 2 doesn't go into 9, but then 3 times 3 will give me 9. Okay, 4 doesn't, 5 doesn't, 6, no, 7, no, 8, no, 9, we already got it. Okay, so all of our factor lists are done. Okay, so what is the greatest or biggest number that's on both of those lists? Again, they both have 1. Hint, they're always both going to have 1. They both have 1, then 3 has 3, and then 9 also has 3. Okay, so again, we see that 3 is our greatest common factor. It's the biggest number that goes into both numbers. Okay, let's look at 14 and 24. Okay, so let's draw our factor lists. So 14 factor list, 24 factor list, and let's fill these guys out. Okay, so 14, I have 1 and 14. I have 2 times 7 will give me 14. 3 doesn't go in, 4, no, 5, no, 6, no, 7, yes, we already got it, so we're done. Okay, 24. We know 1 and 24. Okay, 2, because it's even, times 12. 3 does go into it. 8. 4, yes. We can always just try 24 divided by 4. That does go into it. 4 times 6. 5 does not go into it. 6 does. We already got it, so we're done. Okay, so now look at both factor lists and decide what is the biggest number they both share. Okay, so I have 1 that's on both of them, 2 that's on both of them. 3, no. 4, no. 6, no. Okay, so it looks like the biggest one that they both share is 2. Okay, so the greatest common factor of 14 and 24 is 2. Okay, let's do it again. Let's do factor lists for 25 and 105. We're getting bigger numbers, that's okay. Okay, so for 25, we have 1 and 25. 2 doesn't go in because it's not even. 3 does not go in. 4 does not go in. 5 goes in, and it multiplies by 5. Okay, we already have it, so we're done. Those are the only 4 factors of 25. Okay, let's do 105. So we have 1 times 105. Okay, it's not an even number, so 2 does not go into it. 3, I don't know, so I'm going to divide. I'm going to check. 105 divided by 3, do I get a whole number? Okay, I'll actually show you guys what I'm doing. Okay, in order to check and see if it's a factor, all you have to do is simply divide it. Okay, so I'm checking to see if 3 is. So 105 divided by 3. It does give me a whole number. So I know that 3 times 35 is 105. Okay, 4 does not go in. 5, okay, let's see if 5 does. It does end into 5. 105 divided by 5, that gives me a whole number. So 5 times 21. Okay, 6, I'm probably going to guess it's not going to go into it. 105 divided by 6. Okay, it gives me a decimal, so that is not a factor. 7, 105 divided by 7. Ooh, 7 does go in. 7 times 15. Okay, I'm guessing 8 probably won't, but we'll see. Nope, gave me a decimal. 105 divided by 9. Nope, decimal. 10, nope, decimal. 11, nope, decimal. Okay, 105 divided by 12, nope, decimal. 105 divided by 13, decimal. 105 divided by 14, decimal. 105 divided by 15, boom, it's already on our list. Okay, so we know that we're done. Okay, so I intentionally showed you guys that to check, to show you how to see if numbers are factors or not. Okay, so our lists are done. So what is the biggest number that's on both of these lists? Okay, I see 5 and 5, and that's it. Okay, so our greatest common factor for 25 and 105 is 5. Okay, let's do it for 10 and 60. Okay, so factor list for 10 and factor list for 60. Okay, so for 10, we have 1 and 10 and 2 and 5. Okay, 3 does not go into it. 4, 5, yes, we already got it, so we're good. Okay, 60, we know 1 and 60. Okay, it's even, so 2 and 30. 3 goes into it, 3 times 20. Okay, 4, let's check really quick. So let's do 60 divided by 4. Ooh, it does go into it, so 15, 4 times 15. Okay, let's check 5, 60 divided by 5, if you don't know this off the top of your head. 5 and 12. Okay, let's try 6 divided by 6. 6 and 10. Sorry, I'm running out of room. Okay, 7, let's just try. Probably not, though. Nope. Maybe 8. Nope, that's a decimal. 9, no. 10, yes, but we already got it. Okay, so we're good. So our factor list for 60 was actually pretty big. Okay, so what is the number, the biggest number that's on both of these lists? Okay, on 10 I see 10, and then on 60 I see 10. Okay, so we know that our greatest common factor for 10 and 60 is 10. Okay, so sometimes one of the numbers is actually a factor of the other number. Okay, so last one where we're trying to find its greatest common factor. Let's do 30 and 45. Okay, so for 30, we have 1 and 30. It's an even number, so 2 times 15. Okay, 3 and 10. Okay, 4 does not go into 30, but if you wanted to check, you could check. Gives me a decimal. Whoops, 30 divided by 5. Yep. 5 times 6, and then 6 we already have, so we're done. Okay, let's do 45. 1 times 45. 45 is not even, so we know 2 does not go into it. Let's check 3. 45 divided by 3. 3 does go into it. 3 times 15. 4 is not going to go into it. 5, let's check 5. 45 divided by 5, if you don't know it off the top of your head. 5 and 9. 6, no. 7, no. 8, no. 9, yes. Okay, we're done. Okay, so what is the biggest number that's on both of those lists? Okay, I see 30, no. Ooh, 15, yes. So my greatest common factor for 30 and 45 is 15. Okay, awesome. Well, now let's use this to now factor some binomials. Okay, so binomials just means two terms, right? So here are some binomials. Okay, so let's go ahead and factor them out. Okay, so the first thing we want to look at are the coefficients. We're just going to look at the numbers in front. Okay, so what is the GCF, or greatest common factor, of 25 and 5? Greatest common factor, what do you guys think? Okay, I know 1 goes into both. What about 5? 5 goes into 5. And 5 goes into 25. So I know that 5 is my GCF. Okay, we'll give a little space. Okay, we're always going to have some that comes out and then some that's left in. Okay, now that we've taken the GCF of our coefficients, let's take the GCF of our variables. Okay, so this first term has 3. This next term has 1. How many do they both at least have? Okay, I can only take them out if they both at least have that many. Okay, I can take out 1. So 1x. Okay, so 5x was actually my GCF of both these guys. Okay, so my next step is going to be to then divide. Okay, so I'm going to take 25 divided by 5. That's going to give me my first space right here. 25 divided by 5 is going to give me 5. Okay, well, I had 3 x's. I divided or took away 1. I have 2 left, or x squared. Okay, my next piece. I had 5. I divided by 5. What is 5 divided by 5? That's going to be positive 1. Okay, and I had 1x, but I took away or divided an x out. How many x's do I have left? None. Okay, so my final answer is this guy. This is a factored binomial. Okay, let's do the same thing for number 8. Okay, so just look at your coefficients. Ooh, we have 4 and 4. Okay, well, what goes into 4 and 4? Oh, this one's easy. Or what do they have in common? They both have a 4. So we can take out a 4. Okay, so we were able to take out a 4, but then what's left over? Look at our variables now. Okay, we looked at our coefficients. Now let's look at our variables. Okay, I have 1x here, but I don't have an x there. Can I take out an x? No, they both don't have it. Okay, so we cannot take out an x. Okay, so now our next step is just going to divide. Okay, so what is 4 divided by 4 for our first spot? 1. Okay, I had an x, but I couldn't take it away, so I have 1x left over. Okay, and then our next spot, what is 4 divided by 4 again? That is positive 1. Okay, did I have to write that 1 right there? No, I didn't. That's okay. Okay, that is our final answer. We factored out the GCF and figured out what was left over when we divided it out. Because that's what we're doing when we are factoring. We are dividing. Okay, let's look at number 9. Ooh, we got coefficients and variables on this one. This one's good. Okay, so let's look at our coefficients first. 10 and 80. Just looking at 10 and 80. What are some numbers, or what numbers go into both 10 and go into 80? Hint, hint, they both end with 0, so we know that they both can be divided by 10. Okay, 10 goes into 10, but 10 also goes into 80. Okay, so we can take out a 10. Okay, could probably take out some b's too, so that's why I left that little space right there. Okay, well, let's look at our b's. Let's look at our variables. So this first term has 1, 2, 3. This next term has 2. How many can I take out, or how many do they both at least have? They both at least have 2. So I can factor out 2 of them, or x squared. Okay, so we figured out what our GCF was, our greatest common factor. Well, now let's divide it out and see what's left inside. Okay, so what is 10? Oh my gosh, why did I write x? It's a b. I always think x. But it doesn't really matter. Variable's a variable. Okay, so our GCF was 10b squared. So now let's divide it out. What is 10 divided by 10? It's going to give me 1. Okay, I had 3 b's. I took away or divided out 2. How many's left? 1b. Okay, next term, what is 80 divided by 10? If you need to do it in a calculator, you can. 80 divided by 10. It's going to give me positive 8. Okay, and on this one, I had 2 b's, but I divided out 2 b's. How many b's are left? No b's. Okay, we divided them all out. Okay, so our final answer is 10b times b plus 8, because technically we don't really need that 1 by the b, but oh well. Okay, last example. So we have our coefficients. Let's look at our coefficients. We have 3 and 9. Okay, we're not really going to pay attention that it's negative yet. Okay, 3 and 9. What number goes into both 3 and 9? Okay, we know that 3 goes into 3, but 3 also goes into 9, so we can factor out a 3. Okay, well now let's look at our variables. My first term has an n, my second term does not. Can I factor out an n? No, I cannot. They both don't have it. Okay, so now we can go ahead and divide. So what is 3 divided by 3? 1. Okay, I had an n, but I didn't take any away or divide any out. So how many n's are left? 1 n. Okay, and here's where we pay attention to the sign when we're dividing. What is negative 9 divided by 3? Negative divided by a positive 3. Negative 9 divided by positive 3. What do I get? It's going to give me a negative 3. Okay, so our final answer for this guy, we factored out a 3, and we were left with n minus 3. Okay, I hope you guys are feeling a little bit more comfortable with factoring. If you're not, send me an email. We can work through some more examples. But I will tell you, this is a hard concept, you guys. It takes practice. Okay, you guys are awesome.